Awesome, awesome. Welcome to Health Corner. Welcome to another great evening. And we have a lot of information for you this evening. We're very excited because this evening we have none other than Jeff Hueda with us, who will be talking to us about the essentials of strength training. But before we get into it, before we allow him to take it away and just teach us all that he can on all the wisdom that he has and experience that he has, I invite you to, first of all, before we begin, have a word of prayer. And secondly, before we pray, just to invite others. If you know someone that might benefit from this or from other health corner topics that we've been talking about, whether that be from the recipes and the cooking demos that we've had, or the exercising, or even the first one where we had Rick sharing about smoothies and healthy shakes that we could do. I invite you to share with them. We don't want this content just to be not given to those that need it, especially at this time when we need the best positive reinforcement that we can, and especially in building healthy habits. So I invite you to do that, share it with others. And before we get into the topic of this evening, I do want to have a word of prayer. So please pray with me at this moment. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity that we have now of coming together. And Lord, we are excited to be here with you and to be here with each other. Though we're not physically in the same location, we are connected virtually. And so as we go into this new topic today, we've been talking about exercise and health throughout this month. We just ask you please be with Jeff and his family as they're going to be walking us through what strength training is and what we can do at our homes with strength training and why it's important for our health. And it's just help us learn something new, and just be with us. And we ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Awesome. So before I bring up Jeff, we do want to let you know that if you have any questions throughout this program, you can comment them below. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, comment those questions below. We would love to answer those. We'll have a period towards the end of the program where we will answer all these questions. But today we have Jeff Hueda again talking to us about essentials of strength training. And we're very excited because as this month goes on, we had Chantal Williams Lopez last week talking about showing us exercises and talking about the importance of moving and exercise, especially with those Creation Life bands that we have. And next week we have Abby Owens. We'll talk a little bit about that later, who has another beach boot camp exercise. So we're excited. But today I'm going to bring up Jeff right now. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, how's it going?
Good. I hope you're doing good. Everything good?
Everything's going great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, just give us a little bit of background of who you are.
Okay.
And then you can just take it away from there. Okay, I'm gonna take myself out of here.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks a lot, Pastor. So I'm a resident here in Palm Coast. I've been a trainer since '98. I started training when I was doing martial arts too, and up in Massachusetts, I went to school at Bristol Community College, and did work study at the gym there. Got my trainer's license there, and that's how I started that off. I took a break in between, with family life and whatnot. Started up again after I had surgery done. About, I'd say about 15 years back, close to 15 years or so. And I founded RhinoBuilt Barbell. And what RhinoBuilt is more of a family atmosphere. And what we do is we really concentrate. It was me and a few of my friends, and we wanted to give back to the community. So we took our experience that we have. We're all in some type of fashion we compete, whether it's powerlifting. I'm a powerlifter. Also powerlifting coach for the United States Powerlifting certified coaching staff. And I also work as a personal trainer with Chantal at Fitness One in Flagler Beach. So strength training. A lot of people love to do cardio, and they're really afraid of the weights. There's nothing really to be afraid about. You just have to be careful when we do it. But the importance of strength training, we talk about it in a whole, would be thinking of our joints. When we're doing a lot of cardio, when we're doing a lot of other exercise, we're building some strength. We're building strength. We're losing weight, which is another subject I'm going to get into. We'll be losing weight. But if we don't build the muscles properly, then we leave our ligaments and our tendons to a lot of exposure. And what I mean by that is a muscle tears and a muscle can reheal and it can rejuvenate, excuse me, and it can grow. But once we have damage to cartilage, once we have damage in the knees or the ankles, which is very common, especially with jobs that we have, then what happens is it can be very debilitating in our lives. So if we don't build the muscles properly to encapsulate and encompass and protect those joints, then a lot of issues can occur. Now, when we talk about strength training also, we're not talking about those guys that you see that are huge and ripped and lean. That takes a lot of work and dedication. Just as a power lifter, if those that look into powerlifting also, like we do, we do a lot of very heavy weight, which can also hurt your joints. So you have to do it properly. So form is a very big thing. But it doesn't have to be heavy weights. It doesn't have to, you don't have to spend hours in the gym. We'll go through some basic ones today. We're here at my home, which I actually set up. I do have some equipment, commercial equipment too. We actually call this the Rhino Den, where I do a lot of personal training out of here at home, especially for our team members. But we'll go into that, and I can show you, if you do go to a gym, some of the mechanisms and things that we would do using the weights there. And I will also show, for those that are still at home or might want to try a few things before, we can take a simple band and we can mimic a lot of the exercises that you would do with specialized machines. We can mimic it with a simple band, as Chantel did show a lot of it last week. If you have any questions, if I'm going a little too fast, please just cue in, and then I'll get a cue on it. We will save the questions for a little bit later. But as far as children goes, one of the questions that I get a lot is, how old do I have to be before I can start weightlifting? And or my children, because we're afraid of stunning their growth. So in USAPL, we can start powerlifting. You have children starting to powerlift as early as 8 years old. So there are a few things that we have to be careful with children. When they say about studying growth plates and all, they're talking a lot of overhead presses. So we don't want to do any of those exercises where they're pushing up over their head, because that's putting a lot of pressure on the top part of their spine that comes through a magnum forum down into the lower, all the way down your spine. So that causes the compression. So like a lot of the high school lifting that you see, Olympic lifting per se, like the clean and jerks, overhead pressing, things like that, we should stay away from until they're at least 13, 14 years old, going into that high school stage. But as far as like in powerlifting, it is the three major lifts would be the deadlift, the squat, and the bench press, which overall will work your entire body within those three, as long as we perform them safely. So we can go into some of them, and in a bit, I'll show you. We're going to concentrate on arms today. And remember, form is everything. So once we get that through, I do have some other things I'll talk about with dieting, but let's get through some of the workout. And if you have any questions, please, again, chime in. All right, so we'll start here with going to the machines that work at the gym. It's called arm curl machine. So again, we don't need a lot of weight. Okay, I'm going right here. The key to this, when we're lifting for strength, so if I want to burn, if I want to lose a lot of weight, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. If I want to lose a lot of fat, I want to burn fat, then I want to stay with a low weight scheme, and I want to do a lot of repetitions, somewhere about 15, 20, 25 reps, and with very little rest in between. Rest maybe no more than 30 seconds in between each set. So For those that don't know, there's the sets and reps. So a set would be repetitions, I should say. The repetitions would be the amount that I'm going to do nonstop. So I'm going to do 20 repetitions of a particular exercise. Then I'm going to rest for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. That would be one set. It's one set of 20 repetitions. And so you want to do about 3 to 4. Now, if you're burning, but here we're talking about building strength. So when we're building strength, there's two types that you want to look into, which is either power, which is more of a power lift. So you're going to do very heavy weight, and you're going to stay between 3 and 5. And when I say heavy weight, it's heavy weight that's relative to you. There are certain apps that you can use. You can get with a trainer. If you have experience, it's better that way. You get with a trainer, and you can figure out what a 1 rep maximum is, which is the amount of weight that you can do one time, and then that's it. Your body physically can't pick it up a second time. Then you go by percentage. But for general knowledge, pick a weight that you're comfortable. And what I usually tell my clients is, if I'm going to go for not power, but I'm going for strength and hypertrophy, which is you're building a strength, but you're also burning some of that fat, and you look lean, but you're making that muscle grow. You want to stay within a 8 to 12 rep scheme. So how do I pick the weight? In the beginning, it's going to be trial and error. So in the beginning, we're going to come out, and I'm going to do as many as I can, right? So I'll grab on. You want to have your shoulders back, arms straight flat on the board, and coming up. And I will show you on a band how to use it. 2, take your time. We're not in a hurry. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to stop at 10. Now, what a trainer would normally do, what I suggest you do here, is you give yourself a number. How hard was that? If I could feel at 10 that I can do another 5 or 6, then the weight's too light. You want to go heavy. So if I can only do 6, I can't do 7 or 8 reps, then it is way too heavy for me. So you want to try and fix a weight where you're going as much as you can, and then when you physically can't anymore, that number stays somewhere between 8 and 12. Then the weight's great. You do not go up in weight until you can do more than 12. So if, for example, I'm going to come up, I'm going to go to 65 pounds, and I'm going to come out, get myself positioned. So again, building strength, we're not burning, so we can rest 30 seconds to 45 seconds in between. So I'm going to come nice and straight, nice, easy movements all the way down, all the way up, without locking your elbows. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if I'm coming down and I'm struggling for those, I know I'm good. So I could have probably gotten more. I know I could have gotten more, but let's say that was my max. I'm going to rest 30 to 45 seconds, and then I'll do it again. So that was 2 sets. I'm going to do 3 to 4, and then I would stop. I would go on to my next exercise. So I'm going to call that one good so we can save time. We'll go on to another exercise. So the other exercise, so that was working a bicep muscle, okay? So I'm pulling up into the body, that's working a bicep muscle. So so some people will go throughout all their bicep if you're doing what we call the bi and tri day, and then they will do tris. I like to mix it. So now I will do a tricep, so it gives my bicep a little bit of time to rest before I go into a tricep. Before I do that, What you just saw me do is called a curl, a concentrated curl. So with a concentrated curl, if I have a band, I'm not at the gym, and I have the day off, I would just step on a band, keep my arms beside me, and then as you adjust the tension by however lower or higher, or if you're gonna double up on the band, okay? So whichever one you want, okay? And you do the same thing. You lay flat, shoulders back, arms beside you nice and straight, and you press 1, 2, 3. You can do this with a kitchen chair and a band. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same exact exercise, utilizing a different piece of equipment. That's all it is. So the tricep. Okay. I'm gonna have to push my bench out a little. So you can use this. I'll show you a few different variations. Give me 1 sec here. All right. Here I'm going to do a dumbbell. Okay. So nothing changes as far as the amount of reps, the amount of sets, and your ultimate goal. So again, 10 to 12 reps, 3 sets, 4 sets, and you want to keep the weight so you're almost failing at about the 10 to 12, okay? So this is an overhead. So this is for the triceps. So we get that, we call it the wavy arm flag out of the way. So you're gonna pick up a bar. So I'm gonna show you the bar, a dumbbell, and the band, okay? So with the bar, I'm using what's called an easy curl bar. You can use a straight bar. So with an easy curl bar, it's a little bit easier for me since, especially with my hand placement. I'm gonna take the bar. It's gonna come up over my head, okay? And it's gonna come, my elbows as close to my face as I can. I'm gonna come down behind my head and straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And come down. It would be good. I highly suggest when you do go to a gym and do it, especially if you go up in the heavier weight, if you have a partner with you, much better. Just for safety features, like my partner could have been behind me and they could have helped grab the weight and took it down. So I'm gonna rest my for my 30 to 45 seconds coming through. Now I'm gonna use a dumbbell. 2 ways with a dumbbell. So I can grab a dumbbell. If I have a lighter dumbbell, I can use 1 arm. I'm going to use 2 arms just because I do have shoulder issues. So you want to come up. You can use a kettlebell. You hold it here behind your head and you go straight back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Again, I'm going to sit and rest. I got my 30 to 45 second rest. When I'm ready, we go back into the band. Again, if you don't have anything, I'll take the band, put it on the seat, and sit on it. Make it easy, you sit. You fold it behind you. You can fold your hands together, apart, however you're comfortable, and you do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So I've shown you 2 different exercises, one for bicep, one for tricep. I will show you 2 more, one for each. So we'll stick with we'll go to another bicep, which is about the same of what we did sitting down, but we're standing up. So I'll stand up here. Yeah, this will be better. So to build the size, to get more definition, people turn their wrists, right? So you can hold here and come up and turn. But to start off, if you're first starting to build strength, it's called a hammer curl. I would suggest you just come straight up. And all you do, shoulders back, arms are in, and you're gonna come straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Put those away. So again, form is everything. If you're new to this, I would highly suggest you get a trainer. If not, you can do it on your own. Don't compromise weight with form. I'd rather you do less weight, have correct form, so your shoulders on all these exercises, your shoulders are not going forward. They're set back like you're sitting up nice and tall. Your arms, you don't fully lock them out. You never want to lock out a joint, so you don't less chance of injury that way. And nice, easy flow movement. No swinging your back, no jerking movement. Nice, controlled movement. Okay? So we'll get into the bar. My shoulders are back, elbows up on my side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And last but not least, the band. Give myself a couple of seconds. Woo. Good thing about working out at home outside instead of a gym is there's no AC. It helps you burn that extra fat off. God knows I need it. Okay. Same thing here. Shoulders back, does not change position. Everything's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. We'll put this here. Last exercise. And then we'll talk a little bit about nutrition, and then I'll be ready for any questions. So with this one, we use the bench. You see a lot of guys doing a bench press. So there's different ways just on the flat bench that you hold it. If I hold my arms out farther, about shoulder width apart, outside of my shoulders, the wider I go, the more I'm using my chest. Okay? Nice, easy movements coming down and up. So if I'm here, away, nice and down and up. Now, one common error that you see a lot in the gyms, a lot of the guys, they'll come down and touch their chest. That is a big no-no. In competition, you have to do it, but we're not competing. So the reason why they do it in competition is because they want to see the muscle completely inactive until you press up. So with that being said, if I'm grabbing a bar and coming all the way down, my elbow passes my body's neutral line position, which means that the chest muscle now is completely disengaged and the shoulder's grunting all of the weight. All of the weight is staying on the shoulder and resting on the sternum. So by doing it once or twice, it's okay, like when we do it in a competition. But by doing that constantly all the time, you're forcing that rotator cuff to just overstretch, over exasperate out, and that's when we get impingement of the shoulders, cuff tears, a lot of things. So even as powerlifters, when we go very heavyweight, we actually don't use a bench a lot when we're training for it. We use the ground. It's called a floor press. The reason being is because when we come down until our elbows touch the floor. And if you notice, if my elbows are touching the floor, which just from the nature of it, I already know where it is on me. My fingers, my hands are approximately 3 to 4 inches away from my sternum. So if that's what you want to do, you want to bring the bar until your elbows in your arm, your upper arm is parallel with the body. Do not want that shoulder to the elbow to drop below your body. Parallel. Okay? So let me just reposition. Oh, it's right there. I'm gonna reposition my bench. Okay. So again, today we're working on bis and tris. So this is a tricep exercise. I said it was a chest. Yes, if I hold out away from my shoulders, when I come down, I'm engaging mostly my chest. So for it to be a tricep exercise, you want to come in. The closer I am to the center, the less pressure is on the chest and everything falls on my triceps. So it's the same positioning, just with and the same concept, only up to your side, right? You're not going below your elbows below your body, but you're bringing your hands here. Now, some people, they do all these arcings and stuff. Try to keep the main goal so you don't get hurt is your feet are flat on the floor, your glutes, your back. Your back could be a little arched, but your glutes, your shoulders, and your head is firm on the bench. Okay? So I'm going to pull up close, take a deep breath. Very important to breathe. Now, on breathing, anytime we're pushing away from the body, then we're going to exhale. Okay? Anytime we're pulling, even with the arm curl, I'm pulling it into my body, up close to my chest. That's when we inhale. Okay? Very important to breathe. So come up, put your shoulders in. Your shoulders are rock forward, nice and flat, and up we go. I'm fully out. Take my deep breath as I come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'm going to push the bench out again so I can demonstrate with the dumbbells. Take my 30-second break. I'm cutting it a little shorter because we're going through it. I'm not using heavy weight, so I don't have to wait so long. Okay, I'm going to pick up my dumbbells. I like setting them on my knees. Some people swing them up. Again, that swinging motion, very easy to hurt yourself. Pop a shoulder, tear a rotator cuff. So set them on your knees if it's too heavy. Nice and firm. Stiffen your arm. Rock your body back. Bring your legs up to help you. Now here I am. Again, if I'm working out chest, I'm out here wide. But since I'm doing, since we're working triceps, we're just gonna let them stay right there and touch. Okay, and we do 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there you have it. So yes, you're gonna feel it in your chest. You're still working your chest muscle, but we're concentrating more on the tricep. Okay? Last but not least, the bands. Same concept. Again, all we gotta do with the band, stick the band behind us. I try, before I even get started, get it up under my arms, lay it back, bicep flat. I like to wrap it on my thumbs and just put my hands together. Okay, you want to stay below the sternum. That's another thing. Whether it's the bar, the dumbbells, or the band, we're not pressing over our head, because that way we're transferring the weight to our shoulders. It's down low, just below your sternum. Okay? And we're going to press straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there you have it. Quick little arm workout. We don't need more than that, and we'll be good. So so their muscles are actually a lot thicker, and they're not worried about losing that body fat, because what's happening is with that muscles getting thick, as opposed to instead of being small and defined, it's just bigger and thick like big blocks of cheese, is because they're protecting their organs, protecting from hernias and whatnot. So it's encapsulating your core. So that's why they look a lot thicker and heavier. And genetics takes a big role in it also. So that's why that happens. As far as nutrition, now we can have another show. We can have another talk on nutrition. And again, first and foremost, I have a lot of experience with nutrition, but I am not a licensed nutritionist. So with that being said, please, I am more than happy to write scheduling out to help people with what I know that has worked. I can give you the science of why what we have to eat and why, as far as what you take in. But getting into the nitty gritty with nutrition, you should always seek a doctor and a nutritionist first, especially if you have some underlying health issue, whether it be hypothyroidism, especially diabetes. If you're a diabetic, always, before you start any training regime or any nutritional regime, please go see a doctor and a nutritionist. I can't explain how important that is. With that, a lot of people do say, especially women, they want to lose weight. So I'm going to give you an illustration. It's not weight that you want to lose. I say that with all gentleness because I get that all the time. It's body fat. Okay. I have photos that I have shown even prior to me started doing a lot of my big lifting again. I was a size 40 waist and I weighed about 220 pounds. When I was at my prime, I should say, I had a size 36 waist, but I weighed 255 pounds. So it's not the poundage, and I'll show you why. All right, we can get a close-up of this, Tom. I have two things here. This is very, very accurate. This is extremely accurate from the figures that we used. We actually used actual fat and actual muscle tissue when we were in the course. But this is extremely close. The only other kettlebell I have, I'll make it a little bit easier. This one is a little bit bigger than this one, okay? But even at that, this one would be too much. It would be heavier normally. So this is closer to the real thing. When we're talking about pounds, okay? If this is 5 pounds, imagine it to be 5 pounds of fat in our body. This one here, if this is 5 pounds of fat in our body, this is 5 pounds of lean, fat-free muscle. Look at the size difference. So when we get into a workout regime where we're burning fat, this is what we're losing. We're losing 5 pounds of this. But remember, at the same time, we're also vigorous exercise, proper nutrition. We're putting on muscle mass. So if I lose 5 pounds of this and gain 5 pounds of here, I have not changed my weight. The only thing I've changed is the matter of the weight. There's a difference. I'm going to look a lot thinner. I'm going to look a lot leaner. But it's going to be muscle mass as opposed to actual fat that I have on my body. So when we look at BMI, and doctors talk about BMI a lot, that's great, but the numbers that they use are not realistic because it was numbers that they were using back in World War II for what they believed was the ideal man at 5'7", 150 pounds. What we want to do is measure body fat. How much body fat are we losing? The more, so if I weigh 200 pounds, for an example, if I'm weighing 200 pounds at 20% body fat, that means that I have 40 pounds of body fat. My muscle and bone, only muscle and bone structure, is 160. Well, if it's at 10%, then I have 20 pounds of fat. I have 180 pounds of bone and muscle. So your bones and your organs ain't gonna change. So whatever it is for my bones and organs, it'll be the same. So what is adding more? It's my lean muscle tissue, which is what's going to give you your shape. So 180. So out of that 180, let's say that out of organs and skin tissue, that in your bones, that it's 80 pounds. That means at 10%, I actually have 100 pounds of muscle. At the 20% body fat, I have 80 pounds of muscle. So don't worry about the scale, okay? Be more concerned of how you feel, okay? God makes no mistake. So he made every word perfect in his eyes. We're the ones that depend on how, we worry about what society tells us. As long as you feel healthy, and there's nothing wrong with if you want to lose, if you want to look better for yourself and feel better, we encourage you to stay healthy, not just because of looks. And again, this is why strength training is important, is because as we get older in age, like we said, our bones get more brittle. We start losing muscle, so muscle atrophy. So the more that we do it now, the less chance it's going to happen, so we can live longer, prosperous lives to be with our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. And it's the difference between being being at home in a bed because I didn't take care of my body when I was younger, and also being like my father-in-law. He's in his 80s, and he can still go out and walks for miles, does his own gardening and all. So our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. Let's not forget that, and let's care for it the way that we should, the way that God intended us. Is there anything else? Any questions? I'm done. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you got.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. So just want to, again, just thank you so much for sharing that. It was awesome how you walked us through it. And then I loved how you had I had my jug here because I was sweating just watching you here, just watching you doing it. I was like, man, that's a workout. But I loved how you had the bands, and, just to show that you don't, if you can't make it out to the gym right now, or even later, you don't feel comfortable, you can still do the same strength training at home with bands. So right now, if you have any questions, I invite you to put them in. I don't know if we've gotten any questions as of yet. I think you did a great job of just kind of working on those and talking on those things. But yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. Jeff, tell us a little bit of what else you do for a living. And I don't know if you touched on that.
Okay, sure. So again, we talked about a little bit earlier about me being a trainer. With that, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm a local fireman here. I'm a lieutenant in the Palm Coast Fire Department. So actually, one of my training things is, besides being a personal trainer, I'm what you also call a pure fitness trainer. With the knowledge that I've had with it, and we have two other gentlemen, very close friends of mine, both in the fitness world also, where I concentrate on powerlifting. One is a weightlifter. He coaches weightlifting at Father Lopez, and another one, Terry, one of the captains, our captain, Woolwine. He's a captain in the military also, and he's a CrossFit instructor. So we actually went out and got our certification as pure fitness trainers. And what that is a specific training for firemen. So it's put on. It's sanctioned by ACE, ACE Fitness, ACE Personal Training, but it's personal training specifically designed for firemen to get firemen back in shape or keep in shape, or if they have any injuries, to help them with recovering from their injuries so they can perform their job duties. As far as work, I am a dad of 4, husband, and that's work in itself. For all.
Yeah.
But I really want to stress, going back to the RhinoBuilt and what we do. So the reason why we had it started this and with the whole strength training and doing the club was because up north I was brought up Catholic. I wasn't always in church, and before I gave my heart to the Lord, I was out on the street, and I used to do martial arts, and it helped me stay off of a lot of the street stuff, even though I did get in trouble here and there. We wanted to do something here. So me and my wife were members of a gym, and we had another 2 other friends that were older, and we started training hard. And we're all trainers, and we wanted to give back to the community. So we started the Rhino Fit Barbell Club, which I do have some adults that compete and that do very well, and some are pros now. They still compete for us at a professional level, but we concentrate a lot on the children, keeping the children healthier instead of in front of a television or in front of their video games or out in the streets just doing things that they shouldn't do. It's very important that we get our youth focused on health and nutrition early so they can have a prosperous life. And it also sets discipline in them also. So they'll stay out of trouble. They'll know right from wrong. They'll have a competitive spirit in Christ, so that there's no, back to learn to be humble also. So we started that some time ago, and it worked out great. I had a bunch of youth. Those that are familiar with the youth in if you keep up with some of the high school sports and youth, there was a William Lane and a Richard Pham. They became powerlifting champions with me. They both went off, and they were in high school and were weightlifting in high school and were state champions a couple of years in a row. We have an 8-year-old who, he's now 9, I believe. Jason's 9, and he won some powerlifting competitions here. He became state champion. Then he went to nationals, became nationals champion last year. My daughter Tatiana, she's a state champion. She's got over 40 records that she's set. We would have been national champions last year. We didn't go just due to the day that it was on. It fell on a Sabbath, so we felt it proper to not compete on a Sabbath, obviously, and where a lot of people wanted us to. It was a good thing because it also showed a lot of people, that even though we would like to and we could have and whatnot and won and done great, but our faith and our beliefs are much more important. Our core values.
Right.
That's the importance, is keeping our core values. But this year, I'm proud to say that it's going to be held in Daytona Beach, the Youth Nationals on a Friday. It'll be Friday during the day, and we'll be there. We've already qualified. We'll be there. Hopefully, we're winning some gold.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff, for sharing that. So we did get a question here, and the question is from Rick Paris. He says, how long should we work out for each session?
So that's a good question. So it depends on the person. If you're a beginner, I would say to start out slow. Again, staying with that 3 to, if you stay within that three sets, 10 to 12 rep regime, you don't want to overdo. You don't need to do lots of muscle activities. When we first started getting back into it, me and Dorothy, my wife Dorothy, she when we started hitting it hard, we took it slow, and we were in the gym about 3 days a week, 45 minutes to an hour at the most, and that's it. Started. Now, is there a time limit on how long?
Yeah.
Depends on you and how you like it. To me, it's a stress reliever. Like, we've been at this now steadily, back in the gym steadily for over 6 years, and
Mm.
we go 5 to 6 days a week, about 2.5, 3 hours a day. So it really depends on you.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
depends on.
Depends on.
That's good. That's
Good.
good.
That's good.
I think right now that's the only question. If you have any questions, bring them in. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the context, the background. We're just going to leave a couple more minutes for questions, but I just want to announce kind of what's going on next week. I hope you have been enjoying just the expertise and the knowledge through obviously through schooling, through experience, through life that we've been sharing. And so next week we have Abby Owens that will be sharing with us a beach workout, which is going to be great. She's very active as well. She has a lot of a great history in if I'm not mistaken, martial arts and different things like that. So very knowledgeable. And so invite you to join us next week for that, for Abby Owens, and she's going to give us a beach workout. Again, if you have any questions or if you want more information about things that we're doing or past events and whatnot, you can go to our website, which is there, www.healthyflagler.org. And you can find those questions there. Of course, follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, and you'll be able to stay up to date with what we have going on. And yeah, Rick, at this point, I don't know if you have any question that you think, someone would, I guess a question I might have is, where can, let's say someone wants to say, they saw you with some dumbbells or a kettlebell, what's the best place they can go to get some of that equipment?
Right now.
Yeah, I know right now.
Right now, nowhere. So I say that because we actually just got some equipment. I'm actually ordering. We just put an order in. Well, we're in the process of ordering $40,000 worth of equipment for the fire station. Everybody sold out. I will say this: if you're really interested in it, if you really want to take part, don't rush. For smaller weights, you sometimes, without getting into the bigger weights, there is you could go to a Walmart. If you want to get something like I have more of that line, the companies that I use, I try to operate with local companies. One is out of Jacksonville called X Training, the letter xtraining.com. They're sold out a lot right now, but they have a lot of great equipment. The racks that I use are tight racks. So the only one that I like better than the same exact rack is called a Rogue. The difference is Rogue costs you $1,000 plus period for a basic rack. This one cost me it's 400 change, so it's less than half the price, and it's the exact same measurements and all. But when the whole thing just started with the coronavirus, everybody wiped out the shelves because all the gyms were closed. It's already started. If you give yourself a month, then you can use bands. Bands you can still buy online. X Training is the best place to get the bands for bang for your buck. And a red band would be all you need to start off. A red band is between, I believe, 10 and 35 pounds of resistance. That's way more than enough. Even now, most of my band works is with a red band unless I'm going real heavy. But give yourself a month. Then I will be looking at Marketplace or Facebook Marketplace, things like that, because all these people are going to be selling. Right now is not the time. I'm on it constantly looking for equipment. They're just price gouging like crazy. A pair of bumper plates that normally cost you $400. I know yesterday a guy was asking $1,200 for it for a used set. So no, but I think within a month or so, now people getting back into the gym, they're like, oh, well, I really don't need this no more. And you're going to see prices dropping, a lot of stuff show up. But until then, you can always get with Pastor Sebastian or myself, or you can email me at RhinoBuilt Barbell, all one word, RhinoBuilt Barbell @gmail.com. We do personal training, whether in the gym at Fitness One, or if you want more private, I do them here at home. Custom nutrition online training if you're motivated to do it yourself. But you can give us a call, or if you just need help or you need a word of prayer or anything, you can always hit us up.
Love it, love it. So we did get a question that came in, Jeff. I'm just going to read it real quick from Chris Robinson, and I think maybe you can speak to this. What kind of exercise is good for rotator tear?
That's a great one because that's what I got. I really messed up my shoulders pretty good during one competition, and so I bit off a little more than what I could chew, and I'm paying for it now. But it is healing. So you can get there are some things that are expensive that you can buy. What I would try and do, instead of going the expensive route, if you get a stick or a pipe, a PVC pipe, a little bit thicker, and on the end of it, fill it with concrete or a heavy baseball bat, something that's heavy at the end. And you can grab it, and we call them round the worlds. Those are the best. So you want to hold it like a baseball bat, and you'll see a lot of baseball players do it. And literally, actually, I'll demonstrate for you real quick. So using this bar, should have enough room. It doesn't take a lot of weight, 5 pounds at the most. 10 if you're a bigger person. 2.5 to 5 pounds is great. You want to hold it out here and literally rotate around your head and come up. And that's all you're doing. You're gonna just keep on coming here and then backwards before you do a shoulder exercise. So you really want to stretch. There are some shoulder exercises. Lightweight, we usually do, and I say lightweight, 7 pounds, 5 pounds, and do forward swings. Just vigorous before you get into your exercises. Another good one is you want to stay here and just come down and up. Okay, you close the body, push out and in. Okay, you just want to work it for a while. Best thing I can suggest is you want to do it and get that muscle hot, is what I say. You'll feel the heat. That means it's nice and loose. Once you get it working around nice and loose, then start your workout. Be careful with overhead presses. Be careful with heavy weight. And I say with overhead because we want nothing falling on our heads. I would prefer at that point to do more of rowing or even a band where you're rowing instead of rowing like you do for your lats towards your back. You're going to roll towards your face. Okay, things to that nature. Just be careful. Make sure a good stretch before you do anything. Lightweight. If anything, I would increase the reps, probably closer to that 20 rep, but lighter weight.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that great advice. Again, everyone, thank you for joining us. And Jeff, so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And again, just want to let you know about next week. Join us next week, same time, same place. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube. Share it with your friends, with your loved ones, with others at this time. And just a big shout out to the Poeta family. Thank you, RhinoBuilt. And we hope you were blessed. You enjoyed it. And we will see you on the other side next week. Bye-bye.